Hi guys, my name is Anush and I'm here to introduce my new YouTube channel. I've been meaning to start a YouTube channel for quite some time now, and I was considering doing reaction videos, which I like reaction videos, but inevitably I wanted to do something a little bit more different, a little bit more productive, and this is finally what I've come up with. Now, I have studied English literature and creative writing at university level for my degree. So I feel like I wanted to kind of use that, and I feel like I would have a leg to stand on if I make any sort of comments about people's sort of writing work or written work, as it were. So this is what I'm going to be doing, and what that is I will be reading, reacting, and reviewing fan fiction work. That's right. I did say fan fiction. Now, among people who don't read fan fiction or are not into it, fan fiction tend to have a slightly sketchy reputation. But I'm here to tell you guys that it's not all that. It is not pornography, although there certainly are some graphic fan fiction work out there. But that's not what it's all about. To me, fan fiction is a whole world of possibilities. If you like a TV show, if you like a movie, if you like a game, a cartoon, book, any sort of thing like that, and you watch that show or you read that book or you play that game and you think, what if it happened this way? Or if you don't like the ending of your favorite show, you just go into fan fiction and there is a whole world of multiple endings, multiple takes on your favorite characters. And it is quite staggering the amount of imagination that is sort of written and is available in fan fiction. It is just pure amazing what you can find there. Obviously, I've been into fan fiction for quite some time. Any new TV show that I watch, any new movies, any new books, games, anything like that, I always, once I finish, I always tend to find myself in fan fiction, going on to fan fiction and finding fan fictions about that particular thing that I've just watched, seeing what other versions of that story is out there. And there's always a lot. Um, Obviously, like everyone else, I have my preferences. Although I always go to fan fiction and read about that particular fandom, there is only sort of, I would say, three with the potential of more, but currently three fan fiction world or fandom worlds that I tend to find myself going back to. Um, for my channel, I will be starting with those sort of fandoms, but I'm not averse to visiting other fandoms. I only have two rules, I think, at the minute. That might change as I start doing the channel, but currently I've got two rules. If I am going to read, react, and review a fanfiction work, I have to first be familiar with that fandom. If it's a TV show, I should have, I would have watched the show. If it's a movie, I should have seen the movie. Or if I haven't, I won't be adverse, obviously, going and becoming familiar with the work. But until I am, I wouldn't be doing any sort of videos on the fan fiction work. And my second rule is that if I am going to be doing multiple chapter fan fiction reviews, which I'm not going to start off with. I'm going to start off with one just to get the ball rolling, but it is something that I would eventually want to do in the future. It has to be a complete work, fan fiction. It has to be completed or be complete. Because in the world of fan fiction, often authors sort of give up on their work, then go back and finish it. It can be a bit frustrating, can be a bit unsettling to not eventually find out what happens at the end. I mean, there's multiple of excuses and reasons why they wouldn't. They just don't want to, or life got in their way, or a number of different things. But it can be a bit quite unsettling. So I will only um, read, react, and review to fanfiction work that are complete. Obviously, one shots are one shots, but I'm talking about more like multiple chapter stories. So, just a little bit about the kind of fanfiction that I'm into. As I mentioned earlier, there tend to be three fanfictions that I find myself going back to. Two of them a lot more than the third. The third one, I start from the least one that I would tend to read, and that is fanfiction about the TV show Suits. Um, One of the reasons I haven't been into that sort of fan fiction world of things for a while is that I kind of stopped watching the show after Mike and Rachel left because I feel like the show should stop there. I haven't been able to bring myself to watch the following season or seasons. I don't even know how many seasons they did after that because I just didn't look into it. And the reason for that is I feel like the show was mainly about Mark and Harvey and their relationship and their struggles in dealing with the fact that Mike wasn't a real lawyer until he became a real lawyer and a lot of that. So when Mike left, I feel like the show sort of just wasn't the same. It couldn't be the same. So I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it. Um, so I haven't really looked into any new sort of fan fiction in that fandom simply because in case there's anything about the new seasons. I don't want any spoilers or anything like that when I do decide to actually go and watch those seasons. But there are fanfiction work in that regard that I used to read until that point, um, which I might go into and sort of read and react for you. Some fiction that I've read and liked, I might introduce them as social videos, but that will be a little bit later on down the line. Um, my second favorite, which is sort of my first and second are very equal for me, is another TV show. That's the BBC TV show Merlin, which kind of ended about 10 years ago. I really, really liked that TV show, um, and I do tend to read a lot of fan fiction. I do find myself reading a lot of fan fiction which are about Merlin and Arthur fundamentally. Obviously, when you do, there's a lot of slash the fan fiction that you tend to come across, which is fine. There's some amazing ones out there, but primarily that's not the reason. Primarily it's just their relationship dynamic between those two, because that's what the show is about. If you've seen the show, you know that at its heart, it's about Merlin, and it's about Arthur, and it's about their friendship. Although the show does make it very easy to read it as more than friends. Um, so yeah, I do actually kind of like the stories when they're more than friends. But yeah, it and the show, of course, had such a disappointing ending, which fan fiction is just a soothing balm to that for me as well. And obviously, my number one, which is very equal to how often I would read it to Merlin, but it the fandom itself is so much bigger, is of course Harry Potter. Yes. Now, obviously, Harry Potter, there is a multitude of stories and characters. I have read fan fiction I really liked, which are about the Marauders and their time at school. Fan fiction about Harry's children and sort of things. But I do tend myself liking fan fiction work that are during the Hogwarts era of Harry and crew specifically, and specifically stories that center around Harry, like the book does. Simply seeing alternative versions and things like that for him. Other things, there's a lot of stories about him with multiple characters. Again, what I do tend to find myself reading is uh, stories that are between Harry and Draco's relationship, whether it's friendship or whether it's more. Um, because obviously when they were at Hogwarts before all hell broke loose, they were sort of the opposite ends, and the idea of opposites attract is quite attractive. Um, Sort of they don't know anything about each other, misunderstand each other. Obviously, we see that as in the later books as the characters develop, but they don't really. They're schoolyard bullies to each other, schoolyard rivals, and a lot of that stems from not understanding each other. And it's just one of those things. If you just knew what was going on in my life, um, things would be different, kind of thing. So yeah, I do kind of tend to like those kind of. So those are the kind of stories that I tend to often look for and read. But having said that, obviously there are a number of different sort of characters and pairings and such in the world of fan fiction. And of course, there's so many websites for fan fiction work as well. I'll be starting with fanfiction.net, the primary one, but there will be other other websites that I would be going on and reading. And if you guys have any suggestions as well, please, let me know. As I said, I'm free to other fandoms as well. We're starting off with Harry Potter, maybe doing a bit of Merlin and a bit of Suits, and then maybe um, other fandoms that I have read and liked stories on. But if there's any particular story or fan fiction work that you like, let me know. I will look into them as well. But for now, this was a little, well, it was meant to be a short introductory video. It didn't exactly work out that way. But I will be doing my first video after this on some Harry Potter one shot, I guess, one shot stories, and we'll be taking it off from there. Please let me guys, let me know if you are interested in this show, in this TV channel, in the program that I'm planning on. What you would like to see out of that. Is there anything other than fan fiction that you would like me to sort of react to or review to? Doesn't necessarily have to be fan fiction work. It could be art. There's some fan made art out there that are amazing. It could be anything. I like a good story wherever it comes from. It could be a YouTube made fan made video on YouTube that you want me to watch, react and review. Anything that has a good story, I'm down for. So if there's anything like that that you guys want me to see, react or review to, please let me know and I will make sure to do that. In the meanwhile, I will be loading up my next video where I read, react, and review some Harry Potter fanfiction world.